Hi, it's Maggie the Irish Gypsy here to bring you your December 2019 general readings. We are looking at the first half of December from the 1st to the 15th. Welcome to everyone here. I'm back from my travels, back in my home base in the States, at least for a little while. So thank you to those of you who followed me and also those of you who continue to follow, like, share, subscribe, and welcome to any newcomers as well. So this reading is for the fire sign of Aries, our lovely rambunctious rams for the first half of December. It's a general reading. As many of you know, they can resonate a little differently for everybody watching. So make sure to watch your rising sign, moon sign, Venus sign, although this is also for those of you who may be cross-watching for Aries. And as many of you know, if you are interested in reaching out for a personal one-on-one reading with me, you can click on the description link below for more info and contact details. Email me directly at maggie1mcguire@gmail.com. I do a wide variety of readings in all areas of life, different types and lengths ranging from 15 minutes up to an hour and a half, focusing on whatever it is that you need looked at. And as we are in the holiday season, they also make great gifts because there's, of course, nothing more personal than a personal reading. It's geared and oriented specifically towards one person. And this is a good time to think about getting the 6 or 12-month overviews as well, which are a specific spread that I use to take a look at what's coming in your life for the next 6 or 12 months, depending on how far ahead you want to look. And while people can and do order them at any time of the year, they're quite popular at this time of the year because we are ending one year and transitioning into another, and a lot of people like to take a look at the first half or indeed the next year in entirety. So just a couple of things for you to keep in mind. All right, let's move right into this reading. So Aries, let's see what's in store for you for the first half of December 2019. Okay, Aries, we begin with the Ten of Wands, followed by the Lovers, the Eight of Swords, followed by the Ace of Swords, and from the bottom of the deck, your overall energy for the first half of December is the Seven of Cups. It's interesting, Aries. This reading is remarkably similar to the Leo reading. I wonder if some of you are involved with a Leo. There may be some correlation there for some of you. Because Leo also had this sort of illusionary daydreaming, not being all that realistic about something kind of energy, which is your overall energy for the first half of December with the Seven of Cups. You can see that each one of these 7 cups is filled with something beautiful, perfect, almost impossibly perfect. It represents potential, promise, what something could be. Not what it is, but what something could be. Daydreaming, building castles in the sky, fantasy, illusion. We all need to dream, but sometimes the 7 of Cups can represent not being realistic about what it actually is going to physically take, or the work it's going to take to actually manifest something in reality, because Cups is governed by the element of water, and this is emotional energy. This is energy about our emotions and feelings. It's the energy that surrounds relationships. So the Seven of Cups, while it can represent a lot of different options, potential, and promise, it also takes a lot more of other types of energy to manifest this in reality. And often the Seven of Cups, not always, but often the Seven of Cups can represent that you think that something has a lot of potential and promise, but it's kind of like this illusionary sort of fuzzy, daydreamy sort of thing. But in order to actually manifest any potential or promise into reality, it takes work and effort. It looks like for many of you, this is about a romantic relationship. Leo also got the Lovers too, in addition to the Seven of Cups. So the Ten of Wands followed by the Lovers. So the Ten of Wands. The Ten of Wands usually represents, it can often show up when someone's feeling overwhelmed. tired, overwhelmed, exhausted. Tens typically represent a cycle coming to an end or something coming to a completion point. And this would be something that represents a heavy burden or feeling overwhelmed about something. Perhaps feeling like this is a heavy load that you're going to have to continue to carry for some time. And for many of you, this is about a pretty romantic, pretty passionate, connected relationship that you have with someone. The Lovers also can represent needing to make a choice. In fact, in the early tarot decks, this particular card wasn't referred to as the Lovers. It was called the Choice, and it showed a man standing in front of two women, sometimes a woman standing in front of two men, the implication being that a choice needed to be made, which was going to significantly impact a relationship for everyone involved. Doesn't mean that this is a three-party situation. It simply means that for many of you, you're feeling overwhelmed, maybe burdened with needing to make a decision about a relationship that's quite important to you. But feeling somehow like you can't make it or don't want to make it. You just kind of want to stay in this Seven of Cups sort of illusionary energy. It's interesting because Leo's reading, I feel like, was a little bit more on the other side, like they were being illusionary or not realistic or being all that practical about a truth in front of them that was about they're giving so much to another individual and not receiving anything back, but thinking that somehow magically it was going to transform itself. And I feel like here, Aries, some of you may be on the other side of that story where it's up to you to make a decision about a relationship, perhaps a relationship progressing, but for some reason you just see actually making that as taking on something very heavy or a big burden, and you want to just kind of stay in this lovely, the promise and potential or the fun of what things can be. And interestingly enough, just like in Leo's reading, they had already been confronted with the truth of the reality of a situation, but were kind of trying to ignore that or just kind of sort of fantasizing that it would change somehow without even knowing how or having a plan. And for you, I think it's somewhat similar too. We have the Eight of Swords and the Ace of Swords. Really, if any of you are involved with a Leo or another fire sign, let me know. So the Eight of Swords represents feeling trapped, feeling held hostage, bound, even though you're really not. Swords is mental energy. It's governed by the element of air. So the only thing actually keeping this woman trapped is the thoughts that she has, some kind of message that's playing in your head. Well, I can't make this decision because of this, or if I make this decision then that, or if I make this decision that, and I can't free myself from this. But you can. It's about actually taking the blindfold off so that you can see your situation is not the prison that you think it is, that you can remove yourself from it, or that this decision that you need to make, perhaps you're being asked to make a decision about taking a relationship in a different direction or further, a deeper level of commitment and responsibility, and you feel like that's just a big burden or a weight. That's how you're seeing it. You feel trapped by that, but you don't want to leave the relationship either because you feel so connected to this person. But in fact, what's keeping you trapped and keeping you feeling like this is a burden is the idea that it is. Perhaps it's based on previous relationship history you have. Perhaps your experience with relationships in the past has been that to perhaps get married means this, or to take this relationship in another direction, means that it's going to become this big burden. But it's just some kind of message that you have telling you this, but it's not actually really reflected in the reality of this relationship that you're in. And I feel like you actually have seen that, because the Eight of Swords is clarified by the Ace of Swords. Aces represent a new beginning or the opportunity for something. And Swords is mental, cerebral energy. It's not emotional. So the Ace of Swords comes in, it cuts through emotions, exposes something, illuminates something for the reality of what it is. New perspective, seeing something in the actual truth and reality for what it is. Leo had the Knight of Swords. But again, you're in the middle here, blindfolded, and you have this Seven of Cups energy, Aries. I mean, don't get mad. Well, there's not much I can do if you do. And I think some of you have been having this issue within a relationship for some time. And I think that you feel, some of you, if you progress further in this relationship or take it in a direction perhaps that the other person wants to go in but you don't want to, your fears and what your perception of what this relationship is actually not based on what this relationship is. Your fears are based on your past relationships or relationship, which doesn't have anything to do with this, but that's the glasses that you're looking at this relationship that you're in now through. Does that make sense? So let's take the example of glasses. So you have this particular prescription for glasses and you see through them and the world looks a certain way. So this relationship that you had perhaps in the past, these are the glasses, the lenses that you see it, and perhaps it was very difficult, painful, challenging. So all of that's gone. Fast forward, you're now in a new relationship and there's a decision that needs to be made. It looks to me and feels to me like the other person wants to take it somewhere else or take it somewhere further. But you're still looking at this relationship with the same glasses that you had for that old relationship or marriage. But they don't really work here. You're not actually seeing the relationship you're in its whole truth and reality. So what you're looking at it through, or this decision to go in a different way or go in a further way with this relationship, you don't want to because you see it as a burden and you have fears about it, but they're actually based on something which no longer actually is relevant in your life. You're just afraid that it will become that way again. And so because of this, you feel trapped. But you also, it looks like you're actually not spending any time kind of reflecting or contemplating on this in any real or meaningful way or making any plans about it one way or the other. You're just kind of staying in this illusion. It's almost as if you're in a relationship with someone and the conversations you're having now, whether you're apart or together physically, it's like you don't even want to talk about this because you just want to pretend it doesn't exist. Let's take a look at, let's clarify this Seven of Cups, this sort of daydreamy, illusionary, the Three of Cups. The party card or the socializing, spending time, having a good time with friends, with family, etc. Again, the Seven of Cups and the Three of Cups, this is distracting yourself. This is distracting yourself from whatever this issue, this problem, this issue, this conflict. You're distracting yourself by, hanging out with friends, with family, having a good time, going out, doing stuff to keep you from actually looking at the reality of something, because you're seeing, it's like you're seeing the situation, this relationship for many of you. You're seeing this relationship through a distorted lens. You're not actually seeing it. You're seeing it through the lens of some past relationship. For those of you in a relationship, let's take a look at the position of the other person, which I rarely ever do in the general readings, but I just feel compelled to. Because you can only get away with this distraction energy for so long if you're in a position where you need to make a choice, because the other person is not going to wait for forever. Let's see what the other person's position is. Eight of Cups, walking away because disappointment, disillusionment. They're off to find the Ninth Cup. The Nine of Cups is the wish fulfillment card, getting what you want. The Eight of Cups, turning their back, leaving, walking away. Interestingly enough, Aries, this might be a little bit of a heads up here. For some of you, this may be the case for some of you, not for all of you. This person, your person, has either walked away, is walking away, or is considering walking away. For the time being, some of you, this person is still standing there. They've turned their back. They're like, okay, I've got my hat on, my cloak on, I'm ready to go. They're surveying the horizon. So that implies, for those of you for whom this will be applicable, implies a short window of opportunity maybe for you to go in there and get out of this illusion energy and actually face this and make a decision about it once and for all, one way or the other. Let's pull a guidance and advice card to end with. Advice, guidance for Aries. It's incredible how similar this is to the Leo reading, only on the other side of it. advice from Spirit, the Three of Pentacles. This is the teamwork card. This is working together towards one common goal. Everybody kind of coming to the table. Everybody's got different ideas, different things to contribute. They also maybe don't agree completely on how something is to be accomplished, but maybe they agree. This is a card of agreeing on one specific overriding thing. Perhaps in a romantic relationship, for some of you, this is about the two of you knowing that there's all these issues, but you both agree that you want to stay together. So there's that overriding goal. So how do we compromise and negotiate to come together so that we can accomplish that staying together where everybody feels like they're in a healthy, happy, moving forward sort of relationship? So you're being advised by Spirit, Aries, to work with your other person as a team to accomplish what you both actually want together, which represents compromise and negotiation. Now, compromise and negotiation might not be something that Aries are, you know, all that keen on. Some of you might be. But compromise and negotiation means giving a little bit and taking a little bit. Okay. It means that everybody comes to the table with a list of what they want. But there's one overriding important thing, and you have to decide what the priorities are and kind of give and take a little bit on other things. That's what compromise, negotiation, working as a team represents. It's coming together and working together because you both agree on one overriding thing, and it's about making everything underneath that kind of fluid and fit. So Aries, that represents your reading for the first half of December 2019. I'm sorry if it came out a little preachy to some of you, like, you know, I didn't mean for it to. It's just kind of, it's a very interesting sort of reading. But I feel like there's been this same kind of theme for you for the last couple of months. So I hope it's been helpful and useful in that sense, Aries. I think that the blindfold needs to be taken off. You need to stop with the distractions, whatever they are, and just take a look at this. Ask yourself what you really can do versus what it might cost you if you don't, because I think your person is ready to leave if they haven't already. But if Spirit is giving the advice of the Three of Pentacles, that means that for many of you there is still an opportunity there. So just keep that in mind. Again, if any of you would care for a personal one-on-one reading with me, particularly if this video resonated for you, or if any of the videos do, just click on the description link below for more info and contact details. You can email me directly at Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. I would be delighted to work with you. I do readings full-time, 5 to 6 days a week. It is all that I do. So I'm pretty diligent at working with both your schedule and mine to get readings out as quickly as possible. Yeah, give me a shout out if you're interested. I would be most happy to work with you. I will see you all again in a couple of weeks for the December mid-month readings, and I wish everyone a very happy holiday season. Take care. Bye-bye.